Manchester City is preparing to blow up the market with a €200 million bid for a Barcelona star. Is Jose Mourinho actually coming back to Real Madrid to save the club? Arsenal is cooking up an insane swap deal with Atlético to land Julian Álvarez. Plus, Liverpool has finally found their new defender. All this and much more in today's episode. Slam that like button and let's dive into the maddest transfer rumors right now. After the team's recent failures, Real's offices have gone into active mode. Xabi Alonso has been fired. Álvaro Arbeloa has been trusted with the team for now, but it is clear to everyone this is only to see out the season. It feels like half of you are treating this channel the same way, just passing through, watching the videos, but refusing to commit to a subscription. Don't be an interim viewer, sign the long-term contract. Los Blancos want a head coach with top status. And by the Spanish press, the leadership are seriously considering a return for Jose Mourinho. Mourinho is being mentioned more and more in Madrid's shortlists. This is not about looking back to what happened 10 years ago. Inside the club, the belief is that Jose's personality and his competitive style could save the situation. Under Alonso, the dressing room frankly has got out of control. The special one still has the strength to manage stars. He knows how to operate under pressure at clubs of this scale. But organizing this comeback will be difficult. Mourinho is currently in charge of Benfica and is comfortable with his work in Portugal. To bring him to Madrid, Florentino Perez would have to go a long way to meet him. Jose will not even enter negotiations without guarantees. He wants real authority and the ability to make large changes to the squad. Florentino Perez's thinking is direct. He wants a tougher mentality in the dressing room and less comfort. The president understands that bringing in Mourinho means accepting a strict model of leadership. The Portuguese coach does not negotiate his style. He asks for full trust and space for difficult decisions. Real used to choose more flexible coaches to avoid clashes. The main question now is whether the club are ready for a real jolt. Jose was successful at the Bernabeu, even if he did not win the Champions League with the team. His charisma and authority are enough to remove doubts that he can handle player egos. Mourinho's name is already on the leadership's table. Benfica are monitoring everything, and Perez is weighing all options. In the summer, we will see whether he is ready to take the same step again. Meanwhile, there is some unexpected news coming out of Manchester United. Goal report that interim manager Michael Carrick is seriously planning to bring Marcus Rashford back to Old Trafford. There is an important condition. It happens only if Carrick drops the interim status and is appointed permanently. At the moment, the Englishman is on loan at Barcelona, and the Catalan club have a purchase option at the end of the season. It felt like Manchester was no longer an option for him, especially because Rashford did not fit into Ruben Amorim's plans at all. Carrick's interest changes the tone of the story. The coach sees Marcus as a key part of his future system. His pace, his dribbling, and his instinct could become the factor that brings United back into the picture. Carrick has followed Rashford for a long time and sincerely believes he can revive the forward's career and offer a second chance. That said, the situation is still very complex. United's board still want to cut the wage bill and move on from a very heavy contract that runs until 2028. Alongside that, there is Marcus himself. Sources close to the forward say that in Catalonia, he started smiling again. Mentally, he feels better there. When Barca lose, the press and the fans do not put everything on him the way it kept happening in England. Up to this point, Rashford's Spanish spell has left mixed impressions. Strong bursts are followed by questions around consistency. Hansi Flick rotates the team actively, and Marcus does not always start, with 18 starts from 31 matches. In the attacking roles, the choice often goes to Rafinha and Lamine Yamal. The important point is that Marcus is not troubled by this. He is no longer the main figure. He has moved a little into the background, and that calmer environment has clearly helped. In the end, the final decision will stay with Barcelona and with Hansi Flick personally. The club are still considering triggering the buy option in the summer. If Marcus produces a strong end to the season, the chances of a return to England will be close to zero. But if Carrick persuades United's bosses to give him a blank check, a very high-profile comeback could follow. The possible link between a refreshed Rashford and the club's current leaders is the advantage Carrick wants to secure. Whether it becomes real, or Marcus chooses Spanish calm instead of English pressure, we will find out soon. Trent Alexander-Arnold is not planning a return to England and appears to be committing his near future to Real Madrid. Interest from the Premier League has not gone away, but the defender is focused on staying in Madrid and restarting this phase of his career. After a £10 million move, he has faced several issues. Injuries have held him back, and his form has yet to convince. The objective is clear: improve and work his way back into the starting lineup. According to Football Insider, Premier League clubs continue to monitor the situation, but Trent Alexander-Arnold is not planning to leave. For him, this is not about a quick move back. It is about showing that the decision to change leagues was justified, even if the opening period has been difficult. This has been developing since last January. At Liverpool, the topic remained open through to the summer, with supporters waiting for a decision. Staying on Merseyside was an option, but Trent chose a new challenge and a different league, aware that he would be judged on performances rather than reputation. Since then, the rumors have kept coming. Because of his fitness and current form, there has been talk that Real Madrid could place him on the transfer list in the near future. If that were to happen, leading clubs in England would move quickly for a player many consider among the best in the world in his position. In that scenario, a significant fee would be expected. Manchester City are mentioned most often. Pep Guardiola has been looking to strengthen the right side of defense for some time, and Alexander-Arnold could offer additional options going forward. Even so, that outcome appears unlikely. The player does not want to leave Madrid, and a move to City would also affect his standing among Liverpool supporters. The same applies to reports linking him with Manchester United. A move to Old Trafford would significantly damage his status as a Liverpool figure, and that option is generally viewed as close to ruled out. At this stage, Trent's priorities are elsewhere. He is focused on regaining fitness, stabilizing his performances, and gradually securing a regular place in the team. The rumors remain just that. His main task is to contribute to Real Madrid and become part of the club's long-term plans. Reports say Manchester City have failed to agree a deal with Barcelona for Pedri, even after discussions reached €200 million, a fee that would have broken transfer records. In Catalonia, they've made it clear the topic is closed, with no willingness to negotiate. City's interest is easy to understand. Pep Guardiola's team are searching for a player who can elevate the midfield to the absolute top level. Given all the constant rumors about the club's big targets, Pedri's name fits perfectly. According to Fichajes, City did indeed table a €200 million offer for one of Barcelona's key young leaders, but received an immediate rejection. The club have no desire to discuss a potential transfer, neither now nor in the future. Guys, let's take a short break right here. Please make sure to like or dislike this video. Any reaction is important. Thank you for your engagement. It's a huge help to the channel. Guardiola would love to have Pedri in midfield alongside Rodri, where Nico Gonzalez is already present. That partnership could significantly strengthen City's midfield. The fact a €200 million figure was even discussed shows just how seriously the club took this idea. Barcelona's stance remains firm. They consider Pedri far too important to contemplate selling, even taking financial constraints and financial fair play requirements into account. Yes, at some point they may need to part with someone, but right now Pedri isn't in that conversation. His contract runs until 2030, giving Barcelona the confidence to comfortably turn down such approaches. They view Pedri as a central figure both in the coming seasons and in the long-term project, so even record sums aren't changing their stance at the moment. Real are truly switching their focus in the transfer market and are looking for a fix specifically in central defense. Defense Central claim that Madrid are increasingly focusing on Christian Romero, Tottenham's center-back. Inside the club, he is seen as a candidate who can quickly become a new leader for the Blancos' backline and add the quality that is missing at the moment. It is also significant that Real have already ruled out signing William Saliba or Dayot Upamecano on free transfers. The reason given is simple. The French players are reported to have salary demands that are too high. With that in mind, Romero looks like a more manageable option on personal terms. A fee would have to be paid to Tottenham, but the early numbers suggest the Argentine's wage demands would be noticeably cheaper for Madrid than the conditions requested by the French players mentioned. The amount linked to the deal is roughly €70 million, and Madrid are prepared to look at that level. The motivation is not only in the numbers. Real believe Cuti is the defender who would bring the toughness and unwillingness to give ground that the Blancos' defense lacks. The club see a deeper issue. The current squad does not have enough leaders with hot blood, and Romero fits the idea of a charismatic leader who can bring order to the defensive line. Worth noting as well, even with a certain drop in his game, Romero still holds a very strong reputation. He is still counted among the best defenders in the Premier League. This is not a sudden burst of interest either. Romero has been tracked by Real's sporting department for several years. Madrid did not take decisive action before because talks with Spurs were viewed as almost hopeless. Now the context is shifting. One of the key factors is Daniel Levy stepping away from leadership roles at Tottenham. In Madrid, the feeling is that this makes the deal more achievable than it used to be. Timing matters too. Real have to move faster than planned because of a staffing crisis. Frequent injuries to key defenders, plus disappointment with Din Hyosin performances, are pushing the club toward a top-level addition in the near future. The picture is straightforward. Real want a defender who can deliver straight away and who will not blow up the wage bill. Romero, followed for years, becomes the priority option for the defensive line given new conditions at Tottenham and Madrid's current problems. Jeremy Frimpong's injury in the Champions League match against Qarabag has created a difficult situation for Liverpool. Losing an important right-back during the season forces the club to look for an immediate solution in the transfer market. According to Italian insider Gianluca Di Marzio, Liverpool have already made contact regarding Inter defender Denzel Dumfries. The 29-year-old Dutchman fits the profile. He is experienced, has a strong record with the national team, and has played extensively in the Champions League. However, there is a clear concern. Liverpool would be considering a player who is currently sidelined. Dumfries is recovering from injury and has not yet returned to full condition. Signing an injured player carries risk, especially when reinforcement is needed right away. The interest is explained by Dumfries' specific qualities. He is among the most athletic defenders in Europe and can operate both as a traditional fullback and as a wingback covering the entire flank. In Liverpool's system, where wide defenders are expected to contribute heavily in attack, Dumfries could become an important part of the setup. He is reliable defensively, provides cover for the center backs, and is effective in the final third, where his strength and timing help create chances for the forwards. Financially and strategically, the transfer would be complicated. The earlier expectation was that the Dutchman would only change clubs in the summer. Inter are unlikely to want to part with a key player in the middle of the season, which would make negotiations demanding. Dumfries is a proven and reliable option who has already shown he can operate at Premier League level. The main risk remains his fitness. For a club at Liverpool's level, it is not enough simply to fill the position. The priority is to sign a player who can deliver immediately. Whether Dumfries can do that, or whether medical concerns outweigh his footballing qualities, will be determined by time and by Liverpool's persistence in talks with Inter. Arsenal are taking a serious look at a move for Julian Álvarez. At the club, this is seen as a situation where going all in makes sense, and not only in financial terms. The idea is being handled at the highest level, and the club are already assessing what conditions would be required to make the deal possible. According to Team Talk, the Gunners intend to accelerate talks for the Atlético forward. The process began after intermediaries close to the player discreetly signaled to several top clubs that an Álvarez departure is an option. Since then, the situation has moved beyond an initial inquiry into concrete discussions, with the Argentine's future now being openly discussed within Arsenal's leadership. It is reported that Álvarez is increasingly frustrated with his situation at the Madrid club, which has put leading European teams on alert. Barcelona are mentioned as the player's preferred destination and have admired his talent for a long time. However, ongoing financial difficulties make it unlikely that the Catalan club could offer Atlético a level of compensation that would be acceptable. At the same time, agents have been in contact with Paris Saint-Germain and Chelsea. There is also talk that Álvarez already has a short list of clubs he would be prepared to join if he decides to leave. Arsenal's scouting activity is another relevant detail. Over the past 2 weeks, club representatives have attended matches involving the Argentine in person, which points to the seriousness of their interest. Arsenal are not restricted financially, but they appear open to offering Atlético more than just money. Gabriel Jesus or Gabriel Martinelli could be included as part of a deal to reduce the overall fee. Both players have featured regularly in transfer speculation over the past 18 months and, as reported, are already on Atlético's radar. Arsenal are not actively looking to move either player on, but a possible departure in 2026 is being considered, and the idea of including one of them in the deal is already under discussion. If Arsenal do pursue a swap involving a first-team player, it could give them a decisive edge in the race for Álvarez. For Atlético, the coming summer is shaping up to be a challenging one, with the future of the Argentine forward likely to become the main point of pressure.